All right, my man, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about conflict to connection and the 3 game-changing tips for the blended family husbands. Hi, my name is Jesse, and this is the Valiant Lifestyle, and what I do for you is nothing short of amazing, because here's how it goes. You want a guy that is in the race with you. You want a guy that's in the battle with you, in the trenches, and I'm that guy. I don't believe that there is enough content or there is enough information out there when it comes to getting to know the inner workings of how blended families and blended family dads and husbands, how it goes. There's so many subtle nuances. There's so many little intricacies. There are so many little things that don't get seen or discussed, and that's why I'm here. I'm here because I want to make a difference in your life, and I want you to feel like that. So, the Valiant Lifestyle, and this is where it is when you get information from me, my man. It feels like a whole other level of something that you were unaware of, or maybe something else. If this is your first time subscribing, I'd like to welcome you. Hit the little bell notification with the subscribe button. What that does is it allows you to see all of my content. This is like your 114th or 97th time back. Whoa, man. Awesome. Psh, good for you. So, conflict to connection. And the 3 game-changing tips I'm going to tell you about for a blended family husband. The first one is, when it comes to listening, she doesn't always want a solution. She doesn't want a solution from you. You have to ask one of 2 things. Do you want comfort or you want solutions? You want comfort or you want solutions? I would say 9 out of 10 arguments can be saved. 9 out of 10 fights can be saved this way. And she doesn't always want your fix, man. And I find that out the hard way every now and then, and more so earlier on in my relationship, and even in fact in my marriage in the past. So it's listening, mastering active listening. It's active listening. When you talk to your kids, you ask them to active listen. You don't want them to be using the passive listening responses, the autopilot things where we will, I will, I know, yes I will. Like, none of that. None of that. The active listening component to this is yes, I acknowledge you. Yes, that is a valid feeling. Okay. You just keep acknowledging, you're listening to the conversation because she's going to ask you questions and you got to be prepared for it. This is a very tried, true, and trusted motive and tip that will change that for you. And I want to really stress this one. Do not listen to respond. Don't listen to the whole thing, hearing gab, and then go, this is what I want to say, and you just rip. Okay? There has to be some intermittent validation of her response here, okay? You've got to do that. Or you're going to lose the whole thing. It's going to go sideways and you're going to end up in another argument, which will be an argument off of that one. Okay? Active listening. Master the act of listening. Offer comfort or solutions. And do not listen to respond. Number 2, humor. And many of you might go, oh, and you're gritting your teeth with this one. But here's the thing. Humor. You have it in you to give. You have it in you to give. And in subtle moments, you can give some humor. And it could be like little smirks. It could be like, I love you. It could be some of the weird ones where you're just doing some sort of little shoulder pat and you don't want to be annoying. What I said there seemed to sound annoying to me too, but I want you to use humor in the way where it's like this diffusion. And in a previous statement that you've used, it's not going to work all the time, but it does work. when you use part of a joke from a previous conversation you've had, what it does is it's like this this instant laughter, this valve that releases, that lets go. So humor, use it wisely, but use it. It's in you to give. And then the last one is cultivate empathy. Listen, soothe, and then build that, keep building into that part of the relationship. Why is that important? She wants to know that you are listening. And you want to know that you're listening. I mean, this one works for me when I'm active listening, and when I'm watching, I'm verifying, I'm checking back. Okay, so you said this. Okay. Or what I do as well is I will run the sentence back. I will listen for what she's just said if it's a question, and I will say the sentence back out loud. So, what are you going to do about this situation? What am I going to do about this situation? Well, so what that does is it helps afford you time to think about a reaction as well. It gives you a little bit more time to think of what is going to be best to respond with to resolve this. All right. So, some of these are not always quick fixes. You got to work on them. But the ones that will are the ones that you can put together. And when it comes to connection after you've had a conflict, I want you to look at it I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. After a conflict, when you've got a connection made, and all you're doing here, I want you to look at this as you're deepening your relationship. You're deepening your passion, your love with your loved one, your spouse, your wife, your significant other. Because if you look at it as a chore each time you do this, you're losing. You're not only losing energy, but you're sending a message to yourself that you don't care. And then guess what? That is the energy that you put out. And you know what? You might not even believe that is the case, that you can even emanate that energy, but you do. You do. On your subconscious level, you do. And then she picks that up. So the connection that you build after conflict is some of the most important ground that you get to cover. Because some of it is unknown and feels good, and the other part is sometimes you've never been there before, and it feels awesome. I know when I've been in arguments with my wife, it's been after I've learned how to listen, after I've learned how to listen and diffuse and use the right humor. It's been really nice to feel like we've leveled up after working through whatever that was. And it's just figuring out where each other's boundaries lay when it comes to certain things. That's all. So now, if this is something that resonated with you to the core, or even just you've got questions, I would love to help you. And that is going to thevaliantlifestyle.com and then booking your 30-minute discovery call. And what that'll do is when you schedule that, we can see if we're a great fit, or maybe you just want to be heard. Maybe there's something that you have as a question and you just want to know more about it. All right. Until next time, let's do this.